Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, of course, to Reload Media's 9 to 5. Of course, Swiss stage round number 2, joined today by Danny, as we'll be kicking off with the early game, of course. It's a 0-1 match. It's a loser's game to see who gets maybe one step closer to elimination. But we don't want to be talking about that just yet. We've got a game on our hands. It's the Germans of aTTaX taking on that newly switched French roster of Heretics.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way to call it, because Heretics has gone some really big changes. Of course, back in the olden days, we remember that old roster of Hiroshima, Maka, Lucky, and even some people might even remember that Nivera used to play in this lineup. But obviously, a lot has changed since then, and in November, the roster has been undergoing some changes. Some players dropping in, some players dropping out, and now we have this roster, which is very different from the one we remember back in October, back in September.
Oh, absolutely. This is a changed up side. Devil and Joko coming in. You've got No Nick dropping into this roster as well. You've got Python. We've got a bunch of players here that have been switched around. Even sort of Kiyoshima playing one best of 3 and not playing the next, and dipping in and sort of changing this squad constantly. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this Heretic side can actually bring to the table. Of course, both of these sides are down in that 0-1 bracket. Life does look easy in terms of alternate attacks, though, for this one. Looking at the games that they played, ATN, a much closer game than what we saw against Heretics. That was quite an easy whitewash for Heretics' opponent, we have to say, when they lost that best of 3, sort of 1-2 against Illuminar. But you look at alternate attacks, they've done this before. I mean, they played in 9 to 5-6. That was with the unchanged roster, I believe, and they were still able to take a 2-0, 16-10, 16-11 on the 2 maps that we're about to play today.
Yeah, and one of the big problems right now for this Heretics roster is that their map pool, it's just all over the place. Yes, I understand that with a whole new roster, it basically means that a whole new roster will have to adopt a new map pool. And in this case, at least they're playing the old Dust 2 from time to time. There seems to be a decent success rate on it. I mean, it is at 50%. But this being a new roster, obviously they're not going to necessarily have that tactical depth. Instead, you might think, well, if they may not have the depth, at least they might have the aim prowess, which is something that really hasn't come through just yet. Because if you take a look at someone at a map like Mirage, I mean, the statistics are just appalling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's not great for Heretics, especially when they've changed so many players at this point and they've not particularly got the same level of firepower. I mean, when you've got players like Devil, for example, who, you know, have been around for a long time, not as key as a fragger as he used to be, some of these maps are going to really start to take an unfortunate turn. And as we can see on screen, it's Dust 2 that was picked by alternate attacks. It's pretty much one of their standard picks these days, as we know. Inferno selected by Heretics. They want to go down the same path as their previous encounter, leaving Mirage as that third if necessary. But I mean, already just based purely on the fact that ATN had a very close game yesterday versus Existence. They won map 1, lost the second 16-14, lost the third 19-17. Very, very close games. I don't think they'll let something like that slip out of their palm of their hands again, not especially against a side they've already done this against, who did have a better roster the last time they played.
Yeah, I think Heretics heading into this matchup will definitely have, it will be an uphill struggle for them. There's no doubt about it. I mean, a map like Dust 2 potentially could go their way, but then there could be some, but a map like this, you could potentially go their way. Inferno, I suppose, if somehow it goes the way of attacks, then the problem is the third map, Mirage. And just like I mentioned earlier, they have a horrible track record on it. They lost the 5 times they had a chance of playing Mirage. And not only that, some of the scorelines on that map have been incredibly one-sided. So it definitely goes to show for me that if we do go to that third map, Heretics will have an incredibly difficult time, if that is, of course, we go to that third map, because like you mentioned not that long ago, alternate attacks managed to dispatch of Heretics quite easily in a 2-0 fashion. So I would presume that a similar scoreline is possible once more.
Yeah, I'm definitely erring on that side as well, especially given the odds from Midnight. I mean, they're pretty overwhelming. Even before we started the best of 3, they're coming in at about 1.1 to 4. So there's definitely a lot of people expecting aTTaX to get a convincing win here, and I think that's definitely the sort of mantra we should be thinking about in this game. But again, Heretics, they can cook up a little bit of a surprise, especially picking in to Inferno, which is one of their better maps over the sort of amount of maps that this core has played, a very limited sort of size of data that we have got to look at. But Inferno does seem to be one of the maps that they at least have some sort of consistency playing. But again, you look at a 75% win rate for this new Heretics side on 3 or 4 maps compared to a 45% win rate for 20 or so maps for aTTaX. That's where the consistency definitely does stand out. And I feel even with Heretics having an okay time playing this map, once aTTaX get that stride going, I mean, if they take away the win on Dust 2, that momentum should go with them. I don't think Heretics will withstand. I mean, they've got players right now that haven't really played that many officials. You've got the likes of Python Royal, of Joko, who haven't really been playing officials all that much. You've got returnees like NoNick, like Devil. The only stable player in this side for the longest sort of month or so has been Lucky. He's stuck around through all of this, and maybe he's unlucky with all the roster changes, but they're going to have to really bring something good to the table if they wish to get out with this one. Like I said, aTTaX, they lost closely yesterday. I don't think they'll let that slip again.
And that's just the satisfying nature, isn't it? We have this fresh form team in the form of Heretics. They've only played 7 maps as a core together, and then you have someone like aTTaX that has played loads of maps across the entire map pool. So in the case of Heretics, yes, there's going to be a lot of experience they have to go up against, but not only that, I mean, it's just the teamwork, it's the cohesion that will also be on the side of aTTaX. And if with a newly built roster such as this one for Heretics, there's absolutely going to be some issues when it comes down to communication. In the early rounds, they might potentially have a strategy they want to go with, but in the mid game, once things get tricky, once things get difficult, that's when you get to see these new rosters crumble most of the time. If they somehow get that momentum going early on and potentially, early opening kills go their way into the round, then potentially they have what it takes to close it out. But if it comes down to them losing the initial engagements way too quickly, that's where these sort of fresh rosters end up falling apart.
Oh, that's the worst part about this. The sort of longevity in the series to be able to survive for as long as losing one map and bouncing back to play the second. That's where things do start to get a little bit interesting for this side. And I'm sure that's something they're definitely aware of. They were able to take a side like Illuminar to 3 maps yesterday in that series. But again, you compare even Illuminar to alternate aTTaX, I would say that they get a lot more 2-0s on that German side. The one thing they're pretty good at is actually winning consistent series. One of the more exciting teams for me to actually watch at the moment, given the way that some of their games go, the way they can actually win out more 2-0s quite convincingly. Most of the games I've seen in 9 to 5 that have been very good to cast have been aTTaX winning some really solid games. They're a side that sort of reached top 30 back when Multi Vibes was running, still at 49th in the world. So they've got a little bit of, I'd say, improvement to get back to where they used to be, but it's still a side that for the longest time has been unchanged, has been very, very stable. Skrunk at the helm of this roster, your key players like Slacks, like Murbit, they've got elements in this side that can really turn the tide in a series. And speaking of the series, we'll see it get live. It's knife round to come, but I'm excited for this one. aTTaX, for me, one of the more exciting teams to watch in 9 to 5, and against the team they've already beaten. It's whether or not they can do the dirty, get the double, and still look to put a win on the board here.
And I mean, thing is as well, when you take a look at a roster like aTTaX at the moment, obviously, in terms of ranking, they're not regarded as the best German team because we have a team like Big in play. Plus, you also have a squad like Sprout, but Sprout has also been undergoing some changes, and maybe there's a chance for a squad like aTTaX to slowly but surely start climbing up the rankings, and maybe, who knows, potentially snatch away that second spot from a squad like Sprout. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But as of now, yes, I mean, Heretics, the very first map here is going to be Dust 2. So this is, for them, a somewhat of a good opportunity to potentially try to make this close. But considering this is the map pick of aTTaX, clearly they have something up their sleeve.
Oh, they absolutely do. I feel like there's going to be a lot here from aTTaX that we get to see, much like the sort of way that the first encounter of these two sides went back on Dust 2 in the sort of middle of November. They had a different roster then. They had a different roster in terms of they had Kyo in the side, they had Devil, of course, playing in Lucky, but then they had Kyojin, they had Python, they had Flexor standing in due to issues. So there's a lot here that has changed in just a little bit, like 2.5 weeks or so for Heretics. But again, we'll see what they can conjure up. It's going to be a very tough task for this Heretics roster. It almost feels like, sadly, one of those teams that is fielding aside for the sake of just playing out these matches. I feel like 2021 will be that sort of rebuild of Heretics. I think for now, they're just banking on getting some lucky wins. But against the ruthless side like ATN, I'm excited to see what will happen. And to start things off, it's Joko straight out of A-Long.
It's a very fast maneuver from Heretics. I mean, the spawn goes their way, and yes, they managed to eliminate Cressy quite quickly here. Murbit, on the other hand, though, holding with the USB, waiting for players to come, and it's going to be a very fast push from Heretics. They're moving into the A-bomb site. Strunk, the only player trying to stop this incoming onslaught of players. He gets the one here, and Jocko Python replies, but now it's Slacks as well from short. Gets the kill here in Python. Heretics at least have the site, and they also have the bomb plant.
Can put them down. It's a 2v2 for the retake. No kit in hand, but maybe one retrievable. Didn't see where it was dropped, but with the way that these players are now aggressing, going to take a lot out of these P250s. Can be so good, but can be also so difficult to handle. The USPs having the range advantage as Devil so incredibly low. Now cornered off as Lucky just about gets away with one. Stefan does have the kit and might actually be able to just force him out purely based on the peak, and now has to go for the defuse. Has his head turned back, and as he's trying to tap it, will try and go for the stick, and absolutely he gets it. Alternate attacks in that sort of 1v1. Turn the head away, play for safety, and absolutely that's what Stefan does.
And it's so lame for Heretics that, I mean, they were doing an amazing job with those Glocks. They managed to win the first 2 engagements with just the Glocks in Long of all places, and they ended up just pushing towards the A-bomb site. Things are looking oh so good, but Sprunk, okay, he gets himself the 2 kills on the site, but then you also have Slacks coming in from short. That definitely turns things around for aTTaX, and eventually, as you say, the clutch goes the way of aTTaX. But Heretics, they're not going to back down. They're going straight with a reinvestment, and just like in the previous round, they once again acquire long presence, but this time they have not got a second kill.
Yeah, a bit of an early engagement, but nothing really to find so far. Slacks with that scout. We know just how masterful that this man can be with this weapon. Looking to do exactly that, but does get taken out by Lucky. So some beautiful damage inflicted. Not a lot they can return. Some spam definitely knocking those players down a lot lower than they would like to be. No Nick inside the smoke does get caught out. Now a lot of bodies opened up. We're not talking about the Frenchman. It's Grunk to spray down. 3 versus 3. Make that a 3v2. It's Stefan to hold the line. And now with players stranded, it's all down to Lucky. It's doable. Health is depleted, but Lucky about to be exposed by that fading smoke. Position now gathered. They know exactly where he is. A double peek to finish the job.
Oh, and Heretics, I mean, again, they try to go towards that A-bomb site, and at least aTTaX do. This time around, it's the defense that falls on the A-bomb site once more here for the Germans, but the one great thing for them, it's that swift rotation. The players that make the rotation towards the A-bomb site have once again saved the round for aTTaX. And well, Heretics, it is quite dissatisfying. No bomb plant this time, and of course, not enough money to reinvest here. It's going to come down to just the simple pistols for this round. They could potentially change things up, so they're not going for long the 3rd time. And here it looks like middle seems to be their cuisine of choice. Stefan, on the other hand, will consider to back away from this one. I would say they are expecting some sort of advanced plays, but look at Slacks as well with the MP9. He's being curious, and he might consider continuing his reach search in long.
Yeah, he's absolutely looking for this right now, realizing that it might be pretty clear at this point. And still going to be heading in and around toward that A-bomb site up through catwalk. Plenty of pistols on offer, but again, not a lot of damage that can be done. Murbit and Cressy, an easy lineup and an easy 3rd round to be gathered, ensuring so far that it will be working out absolutely in the favor of ATN. So a pretty convincing start, but First buy round to come, the first real investment out of Team Heretics, and maybe it's not even that. It's a Mac 10 purchase. This is peculiar. They had money, they had everything in the bank, but it's a Mac 10 buy. There's some agenda behind this round, and I'm very interested to see what's up here.
I mean, the Mac 10s, they absolutely give you that fast pace, that fast mobility, but is it really going to come down to, push in middle with the Mac 10s of all weapons? This is a very peculiar choice because right now they're going to have to get as close as possible, and luckily for them, there's only Lonesome Stefan on the bomb side. The flashbangs are perfect! And yes, they take over the site, and now they're going to have an easy bomb plan here, Heretics, but the problem remains. They're still with the Mac 10s, and aTTaX, they have the heavy artillery.
Still going to be trying to go for that retake, see what they can find in this one, see what they can pull out of the bag. And oh, still Cressy. That's going to be a nice early opener, at least to enable the retake potentially to happen. But are they even going to do that? I don't think so. It looks like they're about to fully sacrifice the round, save up the weapons, and honestly, probably the better side of the round to lean on. That B bomb site, incredibly difficult to retake, so hard to get into, so much more worth it to go for the save. But I mean, it was a very unorthodox strategy by the side of Heretics, but it absolutely pays off for an early victory.
I honestly would be very interested to just rewatch that round one more time just to see how the players of Heretics actually managed to swiftly take over mid control from there on out, eventually commit to that B bomb side play. One of the great things that we got to witness was obviously the usage of those flashbangs. I mean, they really allowed them to quite quickly make their way out of middle, then the flashbangs rain over the B bomb site, and Slacks with the AWP gets the one here on Devil. Yes, lucky around the corner, though. That's the Molotov, and Slacks, he's gonna try to go in for the kill, but Python, he comes in from middle, and that was a very dangerous excursion. And for Slacks, he ends up dying, and of course, giving away the big green.
This is absolutely perfect here so far for Heretics, getting away with that early kill, and like you say, it's a sniper dropped into their hands. No Nick trying to work up toward that A bomb site, see what he can tap away here. Cressy trying to chime in, but hello there, Scrunk. Beautiful double for him. Advantage still to be had by this ATN side, and somehow Cressy gets out alive from that position. Takes a little bit of Molotov damage, but absolutely worth it for the survival. So a 3v2 as that plant goes down. There's limited util on the retake, but there's definitely options here, and still, they're going to hold off. They've got the time to play with. Every single man on defuse kits. There's no reason to rush this retake.
Oh, and lucky though. This is the AWP. Molotov chimes in, and he misses the shot as well. Jocko, being left in a 1 versus 3, somehow has a very difficult task and cannot win the round. It's going to be aTTaX with another successful retake here in Heretics. I mean, credit to them to eventually make it onto the bomb side, even in a difficult situation as that 2v4, but eventually it is the Germans that still have some bits and pieces of utility remaining. They flush out their opponents with the Molotov, and from there on out, it becomes an easy 1 versus 3 against Jocko. And yeah, aTTaX, so far a great run of form. 4 rounds haven't picked up, but it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down. Instead, they pull out the double up setup.
Beautiful. ATN, they are meaning business right now. Clearly going to be heading into this round with so much firepower behind them. Looking for an early tap out, and the head was spotted there by Murbit. That's a really good vision, actually, to spot out that final sort of position. Very awkward to play there. However, still going to be a little bit of damage inflicted. Very minimal, though. So sneaking up through short. ATN playing a little bit more of a default here in this one. Not going to be giving up any sort of easier angles. Not playing toward more of a heavy stack. Slacks to hold middle, but again, just not wanting to show face. Just keeping these players funneled in through the more manageable angles, like your A short push, like your default round position. So this is much better. Devil taking a lot of damage inside that Molotov, has to play beyond the smoke, and that allows players to now reposition, dropping down into CT. It Slacks to take the head. And surely now they realize exactly what is up. They'll re-smoke tunnels. They know that this is a mid to B split.
Oh, and this is good for aTTaX and even better for Slacks, as now they smoke off the tunnel. They only have to focus on one angle, but Scrunk, he pushes through the smoke and he gets punished for it. Stefan tries to go for an audacious kill. He gets the one on Python, drops the bomb care. Now he's looking for more. There's the lonesome No-Nick. He gets the one on Stefan, just enough time to get that bomb planted, but you can see that even if aTTaX might have considered going for the save the previous time, this time it is on. It Slacks to get on one on Lucky, and now No-Nick being left at 1 versus 3, tries to go for one, gets the one on Cressy. Murbit goes down as well, and it's all down to Slacks, mano a mano, and No-Nick goes down. It's Slacks to win the round.
Oh, that comes very close. Slacks' clutch ability, though, we know what he can do in that position. And absolutely, again, he comes up massive. 5-1 for aTTaX. Another round under the belt, but it's another buy under Heretics. The money keeping on flowing with them. I mean, that shot was beautiful there by Slacks. Connects on through that smoke. But Heretics, round loss bonus is growing. The round economy getting much better as they go for another rebuy once again. Devil this time, putting up that sniper. The rest onto those rifles. Decent util out on their side as well, but now it's breaking point. Needing a bomb plant again to survive, and even with the round loss bonus at maximum, they're still going to need a successful round here. aTTaX at least having a little bit more of an opportunity to try and break the bank. There's options now for this CT side. They can have Heretics on an eco.
Yeah, this is where things are getting a little bit tricky for Heretics. Yes, they might have the purchase in this round, but if they don't succeed, it's back to the eco. And Murbit, the flashbang, ineffective to say the least. That one a lot more. However, they're not going to push out through the smoke like that. It is dangerous. And Murbit, you will have to back away from this dangerous game. He knows there's always the potential for a lot more players to pop out a longhouse. Instead of Heretics, they're not even going to consider for A as being, or shall I say long, for being an option. Instead, they're looking towards middle to potentially find a scalpel too, and you'll notice that the Opera has switched up his position. He's going to be playing from window, and Jockerlo spots him out, and now aTTaX have the information.
Lucky takes out one of the more vital players. That Slack's already dead, but Stefan again able to respond with one of his own, and it will redirect this this Heretic side. Oh, a long push by Cressy. Hello, that was quick. Takes out Devil, realizes now exactly what is up, and I mean, just look at the angle from Murbit. They do spot him out, but again, information gathered for this side. Cressy is already on the flank, as punishing as can be, and he's not going to live to tell the tale. That's 6-1. That's an AWP saved, and alternate attacks. I mean, they're already finding that sweet spot of momentum already.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll notice from the way they're playing this one, if in the previous round they would be a little bit reserved, they would not go for any sort of very aggressive long push. That round has demonstrated that now aTTaX, they have the momentum and they have the confidence to go for such plays. And if you're Heretics, that is definitely gonna be an issue. You have to deal with it ASAP, because right now, as momentum is high, they're gonna be going for these sort of pushes in lower tunnels. Scrunk with the MP9 manages to get the one kill on Lucky. He doesn't really have any sort of backup, but we'll see if that's necessary, because right now he's got himself to Slacks going for an engagement there in middle with the op. Will eventually lose his head, but Heretics, they, out of this very peculiar eco scenario, have just recovered an op, and even better, there's a kill on Stefan.
Oh, luckily kill gets traded back. This is a bit of a risky round from aTTaX, a little more expensive than we might have imagined, and the bomb can actually bucket right down toward that B site. Luckily, Cressy is prepared and ready for that, and will get away with the victory, and can't save the AWP, unfortunately. So, again, a little bit more of a messy round from aTTaX. They do get away with the victory. That's how some of these rounds have gone so far in this one, but scoreline remains. aTTaX still massively in the lead so far, gunning for the jugular already in this first half. Again, it's a rebuy out of Heretics. Being on the T side, being on full round loss bonus, and being in this position, they can keep on buying, but it's all about getting a win. They need something to break the bank, and that something has to come. No real peek out yet. Information was spotted. Nothing to do about it so far, but it's aTTaX that will stick around. Nice little nade, very nice nade onto Devil. That's half of his health gone already. And aTTaX playing these early engagements, giving them a nice little bit of tagger damage even before the round has really started to begin.
Yeah, this is one of the great things here from a team like aTTaX that has been doing a lot of preparation is that they know the timings, they know when it's the best opportunity to deploy a grenade and do that excess damage on players like Joko and Devil. And now we also have this sort of two-man setup here where, of course, you have Slacks holding the angle with the AWP, but it's also aTTaX in general just doing, once more, a great job at deploying the utility. They have not had any sort of engagements just yet here, Heretics, because they've been bogged down by the Molotovs, the HE grenades. But now, as the utility starts to dwindle, Heretics are picking up the pace. They're going to try to enter the B bomb site. Stefan, though, only manages to get the one, will be overwhelmed by Jocko, and they've just about done it. They've taken over the B bomb site, and even better, aTTaX, they know how difficult it is to retake this part of the map, and they're already heading for the save.
Yeah, realizing just how dangerous this B bomb site is, and that's one thing that Heretics already have seemed to be able to overwhelm in these past couple of recent rounds. The victories they've had, the successes they've gained in this map so far have all come from that B bomb site. So maybe there's a sign for Heretics here to actually start to change their approach right now and realize what is going on here in this one. But so far, so good for aTTaX. I mean, they still have a very overwhelming lead. Looking at the previous time that these two teams faced off, it was again double digits on Dust 2. I'm expecting something of the same, depending how Heretics start to get up and running. But, I mean, finally, aTTaX's money is gone. It's going to have to be a little bit of an eco, maybe a force up in this one, an eco next if it needs to. So yeah, they will buy up for this one. They'll expend the bank into this round, but knowing that they will allow Heretics to gain some traction if they lose this one. So must-win scenario for aTTaX just to keep their economy alive, and there's a lot riding on this. Heretics, the potential of 4-5 rounds should they take away this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is where a situation where aTTaX, they've started to dwindle in terms of money. Yes, we're seeing the reinvestment in this round, but you'll notice that the double op setup has been very expensive for the Germans. So if they end up losing this round, as an example, that's going to be a third one for Heretics, and considering the potential eco, maybe even 4. So Heretics, they're absolutely going to be focusing hard to try to win this round. But as you'll notice, just like in the previous encounter, Lucky Devil already being softened up, and Slacks will nail Nonik. The players from Heretics are slowly but surely getting ready for a push on the A-bomb side.
Beautiful so far. Murbid already going to be on the back line, and still that A-bomb site is definitely under threat. Slacks has reappropriated his position, and of course, and this man does not miss. Rattles off another shot, fully blind on that one, but still the bomb plant looking to go down. It's Murbid still putting up the defense. Double, beautiful. Alternate attacks. They're not scared to allow that plant to go down. They lull Heretics into a false sense of security, rip it right out of their hands a few seconds later.
1v5 here for Lonesome Lucky. Let's get the one kill on Slacks. Actually throws down Molotov. That's going to deter the players from trying to go for it, but he's not anticipating the backstab, which is incoming right now. Skrunk will manage to secure the last frag here for aTTaX, and yeah, this is turning out to be a very convincing first half here for the Germans. Already 8 rounds have been picked up. That's more than a lot of teams in the winning on their CD sides of Dust 2, and we still have more rounds remaining.
So good here from from aTTaX. Heretics right now already, like you say, first half losing at least by minimum rounds right now, and Heretics, they still again over a massive rebuy. Slacks trying to pincer in. See if he can get that early kill through mid doors. This time not gonna happen, but look at this again. German side double orps out. Stefan back on that secondary snipe. We're gonna be looking for a bit of an early kill, and absolutely blinded, but doesn't care. Beautiful nade as well in there, as so much damage being done. Trying to regress out through the back of the smoke, at least able to get a little bit of a long presence, but with the first man dead and already some tags in, aTTaX will revert back to default positions, keep themselves safe, look to take away this round. Smokes out, Slacks with a kill onto Devil. It's beautiful from aTTaX so far.
And just once more, the damage being inflicted every single round. But okay, Slacks will now keep a close eye on Long. Of course, the smoke grenades have been deployed, 2 of them in fact. So now they're 100% sure there are at least 2 players here. Jocko losing a big chunk of his health from the nade. And Slacks, oh of course, he's gonna wait for the bomb plant. And then, or actually even better, allow Cressy to go in for the jump. But he's not gonna get a kill just yet. They still need to get on the site, and that's the problem. Finally, Python's gonna try to get that bomb planted. Slacks jumps up, no kill, and Heretics, with very little HP remaining, need to hold on to the site, but Stefan gets Jocko. Python, the only player holding the angle on the side itself, and the bomb is not really planted there for Lucky, so even if he survives in the pit, there's no way he's winning this round, and it's not gonna happen in a billion years, because aTTaX have done it once more.
Absolutely clinical so far in this one. Already able to get away with a beautiful little round itself, and still, things looking good so far. 9-2, and again, I mean, for Heretics, they've got the money. They can keep on buying, but these buy rounds, they're just not amounting to anything. They can buy however many times they want, but ATN, I mean, they're clinical. They're starting to get that money back behind them. They're starting to pick up some very nice run of rounds, and with the way that it's going right now, it's going to need a massive turnaround. 6 is all they can expect from Heretics, and I don't even think they're close to getting that Murbit. Playing the counter flash so early, supported by the sniper, they'll just walk right in, first to be found, but the position in mid relinquished, back to defaults for ATN.
This is one of the great things that aTTaX have done throughout the entirety of the first half. Even if they've somehow lose one of their players early on, it's just them playing safe, playing passive on the sides that has also brought them many victories. But this time the setup is a little bit different towards A. You'll notice that Crazy has once more been posted up in a very aggressive angle, so he's not in a position to necessarily help out Slacks just yet. But with all those smoke grenades and flashbangs coming in, he might even consider trying to go for a very long, yes, rotation. He's doing exactly that. Heretics, they might have the bomb site, but they have not won the war just yet.
Oh, there's going to be a couple of flanks coming in so far from this ATN side. Nade doing a little bit of damage. 4v4. Still going to be very, very difficult right now to pull off in any sort of fashion, but that's the first kill. That's the first piece to the puzzle. Second pins it in, but Stefan able to return. Now the beautiful one-tap. And all they've got to do is close out Devil. They can get onto the site and try the defuse before they even try and take the fight. They've got enough time, and in the smoke he goes. That's the round to be won. And ATN, it's again Stefan, like the pistol, in a 1v1. Another defuse to win the round.
And it's just the confidence as well that aTTaX have in these sort of rounds. It's a 4v4. They notice, okay, our opponents are actually deploying some utility against us, but we'll wait this one out. We still have the fuse kits, we have the positioning. So, okay, they wait out for the Molotovs to fade, and then, of course, they set up for the flashbangs, the HE grenades, and they pounce. They move in through short first and foremost, and they manage to get the first few kills, and eventually it comes down to the 2v1 in which they succeed, and Stefan, oh, he's been great with the AWP. In fact, credit to Stefan and Slacks. Both of these players have done a tremendous job, but Devil entering the B-bomb site alongside his teammates. Scrunt, however, goes down, and Heretics, the B-bomb site is where it's at.
Yeah, finally. Again, it's this B site where they actually get a little bit of success. I'm not too sure why they haven't kept on manipulating this bomb site, because it has been so rewarding for them. There's Cressy. Gonna try and move in from this tunnel's position. Whether or not he takes the fight with Python or sneaks on past, either way, it's going to be perfect. He can get around from the back line, maybe. There's a real chance here. They've still got time. Flashbangs over the top, but Stefan is burning. Position now relinquished. And that should be pretty much perfect for winning the round out here. Of course, it's going to force Cressy to save. Will grab an AK from lower tunnel, can run for his life there, and will be able to find the round. A third at least to be gathered, but again, compared to what they could have here, Heretics, giving up a third round for ATN, it's not going to be all that bad.
And finally, They managed to break, I'm saying break, but this is just another scenario where I think aTTaX will just consider, yeah, they're going to spread the wealth, and they're, of course, going to reinvest into this one, even if it means having a player like Skrunk on the Deagle. They once more have that AWP here for Slack. So, nope, it's still not enough here, Heretics. The economy is still flowing here for aTTaX. And now Slacks with the AWP posted up in short. Thought he might consider going for that fight in lower tons, but nothing of the sort. It's Heretics moving up middle. Skrunk with the Deagle, though. The hand cannon is a great weapon to try to go for some of the longer range engagements, but it also works incredibly well against these close quarters fights. And Merbit, though, some great utility usage once more from aTTaX, but no kills just yet.
Yeah, going to show a little bit of face out towards short. Slacks on that corner can definitely be a little bit more of a nuisance, although shot comes very close, doesn't connect this time. Getting the nades lined up and ready. It seems like they might be putting a little pressure on short, but again, nothing committed as of yet. Lucky just playing beyond the smoke. See what he can find and see if anybody comes walking into his type of angle, but nothing of the sort just yet. And it, again, back toward what seems to be the A-bomb site for Heretics. They've still got time. Smokes will go down, but are they a fake? Are they a sell of the information? I feel like they might just be, because right now they're reading this very, very well on the side of ATN. No Nick will be pushed through the smoke. Ooh, gets through CT quite safely, actually. They'll pincer in together. Slacks on that AWP. Gets away with one. They've still got a player in Goose, though. And with a man already dead, make that a second as well. They won't check the angle. This could be perfect. They'll deny the plant as quickly as they can. A second maybe to come in. It's damage already done. And still the frags keep on going. But Python just about closes it. And Heretics, they scrape a fourth round.
And that was so close as well. There was very few seconds remaining for Heretics, but luckily, they managed to dispatch the player of Goose just enough in time that they can secure that fourth round. And well, I would have said that, applaudance for Heretics, that they finally forced the tax on somewhat of an equal, but that's not the case. The first half, it's coming to an end, so of course if you're aTTaX, you're going to invest in every single penny you've got. And Merbit, trying to go for the early engagements, does actually get the one on Jaco, but it's Heretics. They secure the first few frags, and they might even consider moving forward. But speaking of moving forward, Slacks, scout in hand and in the tunnels of all places.
What a weird spot to be playing. Yeah, he's going to wrap right around top middle. This is a very, very interesting set of positions for him to be wandering through. Still, we will see him taking a little bit more of now a defensive angle. 3 players going to stack up, and Slacks, well, takes out at least the first onto Lucky. Spots out information. Tag onto Devil. Kill as well. Oh, this scout could do absolute monstrous damage. Still alive somehow. And now with the support of Stephburn. What a shot that was. Through the smoke. All down to No Nick. No rifles in the hands of ATM, but it's pistol power pulling.
Well, it's going to come down to those Deagles. Now let's see if Noda can pull it off. He was very close on doing it earlier here on B side. And now all he has to do is go up against these Pistolerinos. Oh, Noda is going to try to go for the engagements, isn't he? The problem is, however, even though he might spot out the first player towards the window, Skrunk has got the perfect angle to dispatch of Nonik. And of course, the time is ticking. 16 seconds. He's going to try to bait it out, and he's going to go for the engagement. Oh, that's the first Deagle hit. Losing a lot of HP right now. Has to stick it, but no. The players, they're moving in, and Skrunk will manage to close it out. What a Deagle spray down at the end.
Very close, but do get away with it. Alternate attacks. They take 11-4. They find a very nice little round, actually, there, and a beautiful half itself, looking very good so far on the side of ATN. And, well, into that sort of second half, pistol round will be the real decider. They lose this one right here, and, well, things get so much worse for Heretics. It's ATN that can really start to progress toward victory here in map number 1, should they take the pistol right now.
That's the thing right now. The pistol is incredibly important for a team like Heretics if they want to maintain their status here in Dust 2. But the fact is right now, the flashbangs and all the utility, it's raining over the B-bomb site where Lonesome Lucky is stationed at. Luckily for him, there's a lot more players entering the bomb site alongside him, and well, there's a few good frags here for Heretics, but it doesn't even matter. aTTaX have taken over the site. There's a chance for a bomb plant. Nonic, though, will not be able to spot out anyone just yet, but aTTaX, they're waiting. They're not going for the bomb plant just yet, but now it's time.
They even got a re-smoke for the door from ATN. That's how convincing this round has been so far. Joko and Nonic, last two players alive, trying to guarantee a little bit of info through that window, but nothing to be gained at all by the side of Heretics. So they'll go walking in, but it's Skrunkle ready to defend it. A 1v3 now to play, and ATN looking absolutely convincing. They know exactly where that last man is. Nothing that he can do about it. A kill to his name, but with a double up on the back of bomb site. A double peek out. Still, Stefan, last man alive, trying to tap away. There's no time for the defuse, luckily, for ATN. They will lose every man, and Nonic gets a knife in the back, but it's still the pistol round for ATN.
It is. It absolutely is the pistol round going the way of aTTaX, but the fact that Nonic survives in that situation, now he's got $4,000. So if he wants to go for a force buy, or if his team would consider going for the force buy, he would have an M4 right now. So I really wonder, will a team like aTTaX consider going for the one Simple Ego here, or will they consider might even going for a potential force buy? Because if they do, they're going to have a player with a very, yep, there we go. The powerful M4A4 is now in the hands of Nonic.
Yeah, not a bad buy around, actually. Can still definitely do some pretty decent damage with a lone M4, especially mixed in with those Desert Eagles as well. So there is options right now for Heretics. This round, not completely being taken out of hand so far. Up toward what seems to be a little bit more of a default play for ATN. Just slowing down and trying to work out this round. Flashbang was good. They now realize exactly what is up. They realize now there's an M4 in the hands of the CT side. We'll need to be very, very careful with the way that this round now sets up, as the two Desert Eagle players at least out in toward that B bomb site. There is maybe an easier time of this one, but with 45 on the clock, got to make a decision right here, right now. Do they pincer through long? Do they try and sell the B fake? Either way, they've got a few weapons to face off against. Lucky will take the fight and lose his life, though. Boost up on towards short to come. They'll put the M4 up, ready for the engagement. The flashbang good enough, and I'm pretty sure they just saw him take over that corner. They absolutely did.
Yeah, that is going to be the first few kills going the way of aTTaX, but look at Jocko. Oh, he gets the one on Stefan. Beautiful shot with the Deagle. Knows there's more players on the other side, but Merpin, he's aware of it as well. It's all up to Devil with the M4. And I'd say at this point, yeah, he's going to go for a bit of a spray, but he's not going to connect. The bullets won't land anywhere. I'd say if you're Heretics, or Devil in this case, he's probably, yep. Gotta save this one. Doesn't want to lose the M4 just yet. And it will be another round being picked up here for aTTaX. And the dangerous thing right now for Heretics is, yes, they end up losing the pistol. They end up losing the force buy as well. And slowly but surely, they're running out of rounds to work with here in Dust 2.
That's the worst part, yeah. Given the fact that this force buy didn't go as they might have expected. It's going to be at least 14-4 before they can put a buy round on the board. And I mean, we saw what ATN did the previous time these two played. At least it was something more convincing, a 16-10 scoreline. It doesn't feel like this game is going to reach anywhere close to that right now with the way that it's going. 14-4 looking likely, even with that M4 saved. So, I mean, ATN fast-tracking themselves to what should be a pretty convincing victory so far. And I think, absolutely, this is the way the scoreline was going to go. With Heretics' current roster issues being plagued by those changes, it was so difficult for them to really post anything successful. And good early kill to be found. Devil to chime in for a second. There's some decent damage, and actually a round win might come from this. There's damage inflicted, but a chance at least to try and take the victory, because Slacks, he's all down to a scout at this point. Does trade one of them, but needs to upgrade into a rifle, and there's a flank on the way.
Oh, and he may not be aware of the flank as well. He could actually recover the bomb from this position. Oh, look at Slacks. He's aware of it. Now all he has to do is just line up the bullets. Not really going to work out. And it's still doable around here for Slacks, even though he has no map control to speak of. Devil, he's just on 3 points of health, and no one, remember, he's only armed with the Deagle. So if Slacks can isolate the aim duels, he definitely has a chance in this one. But the problem is, however, yes, Devil and Nonik, they're going to stick together in this one, so they will potentially allow Slacks to cross safely on the A-bomb side, but from there on out, the two players will make sure they can deal with Slacks in a cohesive manner.
He's still got a HE in hand as well. He's going to put that bomb down, and, well, with the way that it's going so far, going to bucket toward that A-long position. Nade will be expended. Positions will be gathered up, and for Slacks, I mean, he's going to check short. He's going to realize just how clear this angle is. Now, surely, has to expect these players spots the first and the second. Like you said, still a winnable 1v2. Absolutely it was. No Kevlar, no health. Beautiful 1v2 by Slacks.
Oh, that's also the satisfying thing is that once Devil ends up dying, that was the player with the armor, and there, Slacks, once he fires off his bullets at Nonik, the player has no Kevlar, so the aim punch is gonna be massive. And so Heretics, they realize they're up against the ropes. 14-4, they're gonna take a tactical timeout in this one. They will have just enough money to go in for the purchase, but if they fail here, man, that's going to be the end here for Dust 2. We'll have to look forward for a map like Inferno. Maybe that's the one map Heretics can at least show off some of the things they've been practicing on, because right now in Dust 2, the Germans have been playing tremendously well.
Oh, absolutely. With the way that Dust 2 so far is progressing, it's essentially the final buy round here for Heretics. If they lose this one, we are pretty much saying goodbye to Dust 2 right now, and already starting to begin that conversation regarding Inferno. Double AWP setup, ATN going for that standard sniper onto Slacks already, trying to make that bit of a boost, see what they can find. It's an early peek out, but it's damage done to Lucky. A missed shot down that short angle. That would have been such a nice early opener, but now it's ATN with that mid control. The positions relinquished by Heretics, using the util to keep these players back, but with the minimal utility they've actually got, just a single incendiary left, the rest all stacked into defensive grenades, so ATN will start to get a lot more map control from this one.
Well, sure, control is definitely there for aTTaX. As for, ooh, that is very sneaky, but you'll notice that Lucky's aware of it. He'll throw down the Molotov for good measure. There's always the chance to actually throw down a flashbang and allow a player like Joko to go in for the push. There we go, there's the flash, and Slacks was so aware of it. They're not going to trick him, and if anything, it's aTTaX with the early advantage.
I wouldn't say it's undisciplined by Heretics, but it's very easy to read. You could see the way that Slacks was holding, he was absolutely aware of that. They're going to start to sell the fake out toward that A-long position through A short, some smokes down. The position's now compromised. They know exactly where Devil is. However, Python going to come in for a kill of his own. They will close out his angle, but still able to keep firing collateral. And Python, that's a beautiful ace. AWP comes absolutely massive, and that's a way to keep your team in the round.
And that's one way to maybe build up momentum if you're Heretics. Python, out of the blue, comes in with a massive ace in the round. I mean, we have to see a replay of it once more. Python, I mean, he gets the initial frag, but here, oh, the double, it's perfect. And the funny thing is as well that Python, they didn't even inflict a single point of damage. Okay, there we go. Actually, he lost 7 points of health there at the very end, but Python's hold was the main reason how they managed to win that round, because you'll notice that Devil, he died way too quickly on the site, and the Opera has done it all. But now, aTTaX, oh, it's still them securing the opener. Okay, Merman with the Deagle gets rid of Joko.
Not the start you really want to go for here. They already force out the AWP shot as well. They realize where he is playing from. Of course, Python on that secondary sniper, though. That's the dangerous aspect right now. That's the one you've got to be careful of. They've got a couple of smokes. Single flashbang. Still a chance to try and force out a shot here. Python absolutely will connect. Gets away with the first. Drops the smoke for safety. That might start to change the way that ATN look at this round right now, as Stefan from inside of middle might be the right angle to take here, especially with the limited weaponry. Middle might be the better call as they already make their way through. You've got Slacks on that scout to hold the line. He'll be the first man to spot info. Got to try and put that pressure on, and they do tag him up incredibly. Slow down the onslaught. Keep the players at bay for now, but it's every single man through mid, and still no Nick now dead. They've got no util to force out Python, but they can look to overwhelm him, and that's exactly what they do.
This time at least. If previously they failed trying to double peek him, now they're going for the triple peek, and it works out. Heretics now, of course, it's like a very rough place, where a player like Devil is still clearing out the tunnels, but Lucky, I don't think he wants to go for a retake with the AWP, and of course, with someone like Slacks holding that very long reach angle, I don't think Heretics will commit to this one. If they're not going to find anything in the next few seconds, which is definitely going to be the case, they're going to have to back away from this one. But actually, you'll notice that Devil is considering going for somewhat of a peek here. Lucky, he does get the frag here in Murbit, and Lucky is trying to isolate Stefan here. But yes, there's no time remaining. The remaining players might actually end up dying here in the site. So at least that's one good thing for Heretics. But the problem is, it's 15 for aTTaX.
Yeah, they even come out with less money there on the side of Heretics as well. Unfortunately, they've got very little left in the bank. So for ATN, all they've got to do right now is take away this round, and they have pretty much done it. 15-5, looking like 16 is on the cards. ATN progressing toward a very fast victory so far. Already Slacks trying to have a scout duel down mid. See what he can find in terms of info. It's Joko again. Go up close and personal this time, but only damage is what he'll find, as Cressy already able to relinquish his position. Devil needs to be extremely careful. That smoke will cover the pit check. They can at least close out the vital angles, take that long control, and go from there.
Yes, now long is in the hands of a team like aTTaX. So we have 4 players here. They could potentially just move up the A-bomb side, as you'll notice Heretics are going for a very peculiar setup, in fact. Going in for the push, but you'll notice that Scrunk seems to be aware of it. Or is he, though? He's not. Ooh. Apparently, Python manages to get the kill here, and Scrunk, the remaining players of Heretics, have cleared out tunnels, so now they have a very good idea of what's going on. It's a commitment on the A-bomb side from aTTaX, and Lucky holding the angle with the AWP. Not going to spot out anyone just yet, but aTTaX, they're getting there, and now they're going to cross onto the side itself. Cressy, he spots out Python, and then might just come down to the aim duels as Devil chimes in with 2, and Murbet looking for more. The bombs dropped on the side. He could recover it, but you'll notice that Lucky, he's stuck in a very awkward spot, or is it though? He gets the one here on Slacks, and Murbet left in a 1v2.
Oh, pincered it in. Beautiful there from Heretics. Not too sure why Slacks chose to go for that faster swing there, given the way that actually they knew about him in that sort of close corner position. But hey, it gives Heretics another round there to play with. And look at the money of ATN. It will have to be a little bit more of a force buy here, you've got to imagine. And absolutely that will be the case. So we'll go for the investment, choosing to play what seems to be a direct fast B approach. 15-8 on the cards. Knives out for ATN. Double by NoNick. That might already be convincing enough to win the round as it is. They will get the trade back, but with Stefan already tagged and a 4v3 to play, it's looking pretty confirmed that Heretics will take this round, force ATN down onto an eco. A great chance right now to at least be getting a couple of rounds back here toward the end of Dust 2.
Yeah, they could potentially do so, especially with a round like this they have to go up against. Just players and pistols. It's obviously the MP9 in the hands and Slacks, but you're not expecting much from aTTaX. You're expecting Heretics to secure 7. And for them, it's still a long road to secure 15 here at a map like Dust 2, especially with, I'd still say that momentum is pretty high at the camp of aTTaX, especially with so many rounds they've managed to acquire by this point. Devil, though, about to witness a lot more players entering the A-bomb site. I'll have that one flashbang and the smoke grenade, which I don't think will be deployed. Yep, by the looks of the thing, nope. It's going to be the bullets that do all the talking, and nice kill here from Slacks. Actually gets the one on Devil, and Lucky as well. So, pretty expensive, I'd say, for Heretics.
A little bit of glimmer of hope there from Slacks, but yeah, losing those sort of players definitely going to add to the costs of this round. Heretics will be playing against the Eco, though, so the run of the grain should continue to go their way. They've expended the bank fully once again, but still needing this initial sort of bank to keep themselves alive with. So it's down to just very basic pistols here from the side of aTTaX. Nothing too extravagant really to be taking place, so it should be a confirmed 8th round. But again, aTTaX, they won't mind just saving up money, getting the eco done. They don't mind just wasting, or not wasting, but preparing these next couple of rounds for that finale to finish off this map, as long as Heretics don't get any closer on this CT side. Of course, Dust2 somewhat T-sided, quite ambiguously, but aTTaX, all they need is one more round. They did all the work in the CT side. There was no issue about that, and for Heretics, it might be too little too late to mount this comeback. 8 rounds in a row is difficult, but we'll see what they can do. Alternate attacks right now, just taking this one slowly, seeing if they can work out any kills in this eco, but again, not expecting much, just playing for info, playing for more of a tactical break in this round, just ensuring they've got a little bit of time to prepare for that gun round.
Yeah, that's probably one of the ways you can go about it in a round such as this. Not necessarily go for just a straight-up rush on one of the bomb sites. You can also play it somewhat safe and just wait for your opponents to waste all their utility. And now it's going to come down to a few engagements here. But surprisingly enough, it's actually Slack that secures one. The bombs dropped, of course, in a very awkward position here. So recovery is almost going to be impossible. Lucky, though, will manage to secure the last few, I'd like to say. Yep, there we go. Will be now Heretics on 8 rounds, but that is, of course, just a measly eco. Now, however, we're seeing the investment here, and straight up, it's already an AWP in the hands of Slacks.
Yeah, not looking too bad here for aTTaX. That first buy round now to come through. See if they can get a little bit more of a safer position to be in, see what they can find going toward the latter stage of this second half now. They've got to start to turn things around here. And even so, with the way that it can definitely come through so far, aTTaX is going to be playing a little bit more default. Not overcommitting, just playing very, very safe. Slacks on that AWP, just working out a little bit of info, see what he can find, see if he gets any sort of check of the angle before they commit to the round itself. With just a single lone defender, Python close on this position. Push through the smoke is ready. The angle to be absolutely wiped out. Nonic spots out so many players. Devil being tagged as they cross through the doors, but it's Cressy to find the second. A 4 versus 3 now to play with the B bomb site already under the helm of aTTaX.
Yep, it's going to be the bomb site falling apart here for Heretics. As for aTTaX, of course, they're going to get those positions in, bomb being planted, looking very good for the Germans. But for Heretics, this could potentially be their last hurrah, so they have to go for this one. Of course, there's the smoke, the flashbangs, the last bits and pieces of utility. They have to move in here. Joko actually gets himself 2 out of this one. Scrunk now being spotted out. Luki goes down, and it's all up to Nonic, and he will end up losing the engagement against Murbit. It's the aTTaX to secure victory on Dust2.
Yeah, concise, convincing victory again out of aTTaX. They keep up this very strong persona. Heretics once more struggling against the tide. And well, of course, that's going to be map number 1 down. It was the map pick of alternate attacks themselves. So for me, nothing to worry about yet. But we go into Inferno with a lot riding on that. It's the pick of Heretics, sure. It's the map they've played quite well recently. But the one side they've lost against, it's alternate attacks. And with the way that it's going right now, this core, as it is, yet to play Inferno. It was the other side, the other mixed team with Kiyoshima, Kyojin, those sort of players that played Inferno. So there's a lot riding on this. We go into the second map of the series after a short break. Do not go anywhere.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant, leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our second game of the series. It is Inferno, the map pick of Heretics themselves. They start by taking the knife round, but my gosh, they're going to need a whole lot more. It's Inferno. It's a map that this core, as a 5 and as a even 3, has never played under the Heretics banner. Heretics, they're in trouble, I feel. ATN, they've got the momentum. They've got the first map. Everything is set up for them and ready here.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a difficult journey here for Heretics. Of course, they're heading into this one believing that, okay, this is not an entirely great map here for aTTaX roster, so maybe this is the one map we can potentially try to punish them on. But the problem is, though, I mean, you just witnessed the sort of beating they received on Dust 2, also a map that Heretics end up playing on. So for me, I don't necessarily have a lot of confidence here in the Heretics roster that they can potentially somehow win out, for example, this map of Inferno, then somehow even win out that third map of Mirage. So definitely a lot riding on this map of Inferno here for Heretics. Just gonna have to wait and see what they're made of.
It's going to be very, very difficult here right now for ATN, sorry, for Heretics to really come through and take a massive victory here, and they're going to need it if they wish to go to Mirage for that third and final map of the series. So, pistol round to begin. ATN going to get that CT-sided start, going to get at least the better option to begin here on this second map. Inferno, it's not a bad map for ATN. They have lost it twice in the past couple of times of playing against the likes of Existence 19-16, against Big 16-10, but again against the side or against the sort of skill level that we know Heretics are sort of at. You know, you got 16-8 over Galaxy Racer. They've got some really good victories under their belt, but to start things off, pistol round, Lucky gonna come in for the first kill, see what he can find already on this A short position. Slap to put up a bit of a fight, but overwhelming of this A bit already.
Oh, it absolutely is. The Frenchmen, they're not stopping, and they're moving quickly into the A-bomb set. And, well, there's a bit of a response here from Stefan and co. But yes, Krunk and Stefan, let's see if they can somehow pull this one off. Of course, Jocko in a prime position to eliminate someone like Stefan, who's not going to be aware of the incoming flank. There we go. There's the first for Jocko, and without a doubt, it's going to be the first pistol round going the way of Heretics, and that's what you're looking for. If you're Heretics, you had a difficult time on the very first map, at least get that good start on the second one.
Absolutely perfect so far. ATN already going to be the first round loss for them. So that's a really good start. That gives them at least a little bit more of a better opportunity to kickstart this series, at least on Inferno. Look to try and scrape back a little bit more of a victory. But again, we'll see where it does indeed take us as ATN. They're going to be starting out with a force buy in this one. A little bit more of a default round to approach, and even so, still going to be perfectly started for Heretics. Mac 10s in hand, a couple of AKs on the field as well, maybe more AKs than we might like in a second round like this. It's a bit of, I'd say, an over expenditure, but as long as they keep them on their side, it should be a-okay. But a slower round for Heretics so far. Default into Banana, a little bit of face toward top mid, some kind of util thrown out, but yeah, not making the choice yet, and this is exactly how you play T-side Inferno. The rotations are so incredibly easy on this map, and Heretics already utilizing them.
And, of course, Heretics are being incredibly slow heading into this round. The reasoning being is that they're expecting a force buy on the other side. They know their opponent's going to be armed with pistols, Kevlar as well, and not only that, they also have some utility to work with. And the scary part is, always in these sort of rounds, is that aTTaX have done a good job at keeping on to their utility for as long as possible, but they're not going to keep on to that side control. It's Heretics taking over the B-bomb site. The bomb plant will come in swiftly, and the remaining players, yeah, this is just standard practice. They don't want to be part of this round any longer.
Yeah, just going to go for the save of the Kevlar, not wanting to give up anything else in terms of sacrificing that weaponry or the deagles or even that little bit of util they've got. So they are just going to go for the save. That will give Heretics a nice little second round to begin. Potential of a third to come, and most likely that will be the scenario as Heretics at least getting the default rounds, at least finding a little bit of early momentum, a slight break in the play just to get away with some kind of success to start. However, Heretics, with the way that it has been going, they're going to need a lot more than this. It's the gun rounds that will really be the true test. This one is just a chance to pad the rounds, to get a third for free before aTTaX bring out the big guns.
Yeah, this should be the one of the easiest rounds for Heretics thus far, but considering this is Inferno, yeah, you have to be careful if you're Heretics, because you'll notice once more that the players of aTTaX, not only do they have, those pistols and armor as well, they still have that utility remaining. In fact, 3 pieces of smoke grenade. And Heretics can play this one safe as they did in the previous round. This could get costly for them. And well, nice little nade sack heading over to the top area of Banana. It looked like the players there from aTTaX side were actually anticipating this sort of nade stack to come through, and they managed to get in cover quickly enough that they don't lose any of their lives. But for Heretics, absolutely. Take this round as slow as possible. You got to make sure that every single nook and cranny is cleared out. There's not a single player that's hiding or coming in with some sort of audacious flank. You want to play it safe. But again, the most important part is also not play too safe, because that's also how you could potentially lose the round if you play too safe. 20 seconds remaining, you commit to a bomb site, and suddenly all your teammates are dead.
Yeah, especially just slowing things down here for Heretics. Not too bad right now, and the way that it is going at the moment, still going to have to be very, very careful so far, and still, Devil already able to take out a double. Nice little entry kills for him. That's trying to show a little bit of presence toward top mid, but does get taken out of that one, so not too bad there. Still, Cressy able to find one to respond with. Should be nice and simple, though. Heretics making it round number 3. So they do get the successful 3 rounds off the mark. aTTaX for Heretics. They do what is necessary. They find at least the first sort of 3 opening rounds to kick start here on Inferno.
Yeah, the 3-0 start for Heretics, that's absolutely what they're looking for. But it's also important to remember that the two teams have, they already have some, battles shed here on a map like Inferno. We obviously kind of witnessed them play at the previous iteration of the 9-5, in which aTTaX managed to dispatch of Heretics 16-11, though it's also important to point out that the roster was also a little bit different. They're heading into that map of Inferno. They obviously had a player like Kiyoshima playing in the mix, and they also didn't have a player like Joko. So Heretics, they have a different roster heading into this map, but I'd still say one big problem for them is that lack of firepower right now. I mean, just on Dust 2 alone, we witnessed how it was difficult for the players of Heretics to try and win out some of those engagement against the aTTaX players. If they would have a player like Kiyoshima in the roster, maybe it's a whole different story, but here, nice nade usage in top Banana. Skrunk already softened up to just 5 points of health, and that harassment works out very well for Heretics, so much so, in fact, that aTTaX, they just want to play it safe on the B side.
Yeah, it's really nice from Skrunk here. Oh, sorry, from the nades onto Skrunk. Gonna keep him incredibly low. Snap slacks, though. Double peek. Beautiful. Take out Devil. Makes it a 5v4, even with the damage inflicted. Still, flashbang out by Cressy. That's a beautiful peek. Nonic absolutely deleted. Goes for more and gets it. And aTTaX, the first time of asking their first gun round here on Inferno, they turn around a very convincing victory.
Oh, this is very nice here, and Python is still going to try to go for this one, but 5 players to find, and of course, Murbit will get the better of him. Very clean round here from aTTaX, even though initially, I like the setup there from Heretics, trying to throw down the early grenades in top Banana, making sure that if those grenades land, you soften up at least a few players, and if they somehow commit, they're going to get punished. But here, this is where Cressy shine. He manages to get those 2 kills initially, and with a 3rd player going down as well, the round is over there for Heretics, but they're back in with another investment. It's going to be some fast Banana take once more, but this time Slacks with the up. Gets the better of Nonic, and Cressy as well chiming in. Very early on, aTTaX with a massive advantage.
Yeah, that's perfect here from aTTaX so far. Look at the damage that's being inflicted. Python even down to low already. Things going to be getting very, very difficult so far here from this T side. And it seems like with the way that it has been going right now, starting to look very, very scary from the side of ATN as they start to track back the rounds already, start to turn these scores around. And, well, we'll see at the moment. ATN just in a 5 versus 3. Do not see a world where Heretics can try and turn this back around. However, we'll see so far. Looking like 50 seconds on the clock and a B-sided play to come. The Molotov's ready to be thrown over the top. But again, not going to do all that much. Stefan can play safe, can play in and around those Molotovs. No reason to back away from the site yet. The flashbangs to come in, defended so far. Devil to catch the first, but Skrunk at least with a response. Now the artillery rotates, but Skrunk is trapped on the site as Lucky pins him down. A 2v3, definitely doable, but it slacks to spot out the info.
Oh, it slacks. If he wins this engagement, it's going to be oh so important, but it's Python to come out on top. Now they got a really good chance, Heretics. A 2v2 up for grabs, and look at this. Being armed with the double op setup, this might just be enough, but Cressy, he wins out against Lucky, and Python actually goes down as well. So it will be a retake here for aTTaX, and I thought that once they have those 2 ops at play on the B side where they have to play defensive, I thought Heretics had it in the bag.
I thought that was absolutely going to be done there, yeah. ATN, they do a very good job of turning that around, and luckily, with the way that it has been going so far, not going to be turning things around anytime soon. So it is going to be a pistol investment for them, not able to get away with anything else successful so far here on this side. So they are going to be struggling, but Slacks tries to take the early peak. Going to be the first man dead. That's not a way that you really want to begin. He's going to be losing out on that AWP. Luckily, it has been reclaimed, but a nice early opener by Heretics, at least on an eco round like this.
And here as well. I mean, you have lonesome players, Stefan armed with the AWP. Yes, he might be good for at least 1 kill, but once there's an onslaught of players, he might struggle. He does get the first one on here on Jocko. Chucks down from Molotov for good measure, but the players, they're going to move in, so Stefan has to line up a lot more kills right now, and they're getting close, dangerously close. Whips out the USP to try and dish out the damage, and there's the retake from Skrunk & Co., but Python left in a 1 versus 2. The bombs dropped in a somewhat of an awkward position, but he could end 3-3. And aTTaX, they level out the score.
Yeah, really not too bad right now from ATN. 3rd round to be gained, momentum to be snatched. Heretics will be going for, again, another one of these half Mac 10 purchases. A very weird round of investment here from this side. Again, still not understanding what they're actually wanting to achieve with this type of play, but hey, we'll see what they can do. There's definitely an opportunity here. A faster play down towards Banana. They have options right now, and well, it works out for the first. They'll go for more Stefan, this time to miss the shot. The nade at least to inflict plenty down as well. Joko burning the nade over the top. The head was visible there. I don't think Cressy spots it, but with the manpower falling, it's a very nice round from ATN either way.
The problem is for a squad like Heretics trying to go for that very fast play up Banana. If there is just a 2-man setup, then yeah, there's the potential for a team like Heretics to overwhelm this side, at least get that bomb planted. But now aTTaX, they decided to put the early free-man presence towards the B-bomb site. So yes, even if the initial player ends up dying, there's still 2 more players in the bomb site. They might think that, okay, we can just check in smoke grenade there. There we go. The Opera is now isolated. We can now focus on the bomb side, but there's another player to face. And Lucky, this is a very audacious maneuver with the AWP. He got so close there. You could even see the pimples there with his AWP, but it is now, of course, Heretics losing a very important scalp, and Python as well, trying to maneuver around the apartments. This is not looking like a good start whatsoever.
It's really not how you want to begin right now. No Nick prepared to swing though. Stefan, good takedown at least onto him. That makes it a 4v4 now. 2 players on either side of the map now for Heretics. They are split with no determined push as of yet. They will show face out toward that A position. Try and sneak on through as Python. That is beautiful. Jocko lines up 2, and that's going to be it. That should be the round confirmed, as already they bucket toward the A side. Heretics not going to let this one slip. Round number 4 looking absolutely confirmed, as that save should be coming through from aTTaX.
Yeah, and it's also impressive that they managed to pull it off here by losing the initial player, and also Python being softened up there. Yeah, this is going to be a victory here for Heretics, no doubt, and you'll notice that this first half is definitely turning out to be a lot closer than what we witnessed on Dust 2. Sometimes I'd say that this is just the Inferno effect. This map here in the CS map pool can have a lot of close matchups on it, and whether it be the rounds in terms of rounds or in terms of halves, it always feels like Inferno is a very close matchup for any team. Even right now, where Heretics seem to have the great win rate of 75% here in Inferno, but aTTaX, even though they're just on 45, they also play the map loads. A lot of times they've been playing this map, and I think it might just be somewhere around 20-ish the past 3 months. So that is quite a lot of Inferno games being played out. But you could also say that's somewhat to be expected, considering that this map is so prominent in the current day map pool.
Oh, absolutely. ATN as well, sitting around a 45% win rate across those 20 maps or so, so it's not that bad. They've had some slip-ups, sure. I mean, yesterday was definitely one of them where they played against Existence, lost it in overtime after having, again, like a 10-5 lead at the half, I believe, or an 8-7 potentially, but either way, they were looking very strong to finish the game and did end up losing there in overtime. But when you take out, you know, a side like Project X 16-2, the previous Heretics lineup 16-11, you've definitely got a lot to play with here on this map. And look at this, Skrunk playing close. That's going to be the first kill found. Already drops the smoke to keep himself alive and gets out of that position safely as well. So the advantage this time with ATN, it's a nice little start here. A rotate being made out toward that A bomb site. They do not want to be sticking around here.
Oh, and Slack's being overwhelmed by Devil, very quick on the trigger. And now the players from Heretics, they could potentially just move in the bomb site, but you'll notice we have a sneaky player in the form of Devil. Oh, I actually thought he's going to go for the wraparound, but nothing of the sort. He's going to join his teammates on the main push coming in through short. Murbit, though, losing a little bit of his HP. Looks like Cressy's going to have to help him out, and Murbit will take the high ground. Luke, he takes care of Cressy. Now Murbit stuck in a very awkward position, but he can still dish out damage. Runs out of bullets, has to switch with a USB, but Lucky gets the better of him. And now Heretics, of course, they'll get that bomb planted, but looks like aTTaX might even consider going for the retake. At least Skrunk might be in a position to come in with a flank, but no. It looks like they're just going to back away from this one. They know the 3v2 is a little bit out of their table to win.
Not looking too bad here for Heretics. 5 rounds confirmed on this T side. It's actually a pretty good number. Nothing to really be all that worried about so far here. And for the side of Heretics, it's good to see them at least picking up rounds right now. Looking at the last time that these two played, it was an 8-7 half, so not all that bad. It was ATN that did very well on the CT side, though. They got 9 rounds. Potentially try and survive through this map, get to Mirage as that third and final. We know how dangerous that map will also. Not even thinking about Mirage. They're trying to get through Inferno, try and get to that third map. It's ATN, though, with another rebuy, still able to put up the fight, and it's Slacks that finds the first.
I mean, this has become somewhat of a trend. It has been aTTaX just consistently winning the opening duels, but Python responds in the apartments. Not going to be challenged by anyone just yet, but the fact that the scales are back at an even 4v4, that's good enough for Heretics. Oh, that's unlucky, lucky right now. Oh, there's going to be a few more players on either side, and of course, that smoke grenade is going to block off the vision for both sides, but as long as they hold the stalemate, the CTs will be happy enough. In fact, they're going to consider backing away entirely and playing safe on the sites, but Heretics, the 3 players outskirts of the B bomb site, another smoke has been deployed, and they're inching their way forward because there's a little gap to work with.
Oh, just getting very, very close here. 50 seconds on the clock. Now here seems to come the commitment. Flashbang over the top. At least able to blind off a couple of these players. No info yet to really be gathered. They spot out one, but it's lucky that pins him down. Heretics looking very convincing right now as they take over the B bomb site. That's going to be round number 6. ATN, they already submit. They tap out of this one. They give them the 6th and go for the save instead. But it's economy that is plaguing alternate aTTaX right now. They're not able to go for another purchase. The save, absolutely vital for any weaponry toward the end of the round. And this is where things are looking dangerous. It's going to be ATN now on the back foot, scarily. They're on a bit more of a downward spiral. The fact that Heretics are making these sort of rounds is a very good sign. 6 is still pretty good, no matter how the half ends. If they guarantee 6, which they have, it's not all that bad for them here.
I mean, with 6 rounds of Tisa Inferno, yeah, I absolutely agree. And considering there's still more rounds to be played out, and this one in particular, in which aTTaX are lacking in terms of money. You have Cressy and Slacks on the big weapons, sure, but the remaining players simply can get just some P50s out, I'd say, and that's about it. So for Heretics, a good opportunity as any to get that 7th round in. And yeah, looks like it's just going to be some upgraded pistols, and that's about it. So Heretics, really good chance to continue running away with this first half. Maybe even come out on top with it. But of course, look at Slacks. Still armed with the AWP, can be a very dangerous adversary, and Murbit with the CZ75 up close. That flashbang and CZ combo, is it effective? Well, it is. They get the first one, and Murbit's gonna get the hell out of there.
Good defense by Cressy as well there, pintering in with his teammate. Still gonna get away with a little bit more of a safer round to start at least, but things going to be a little bit more difficult. Either way, Skrunk already some damage in. Still gonna have to be very careful though with pistols, of course. Not a lot they can get out of this, although Slacks. Oh, Slacks! He got lucky as well on that one. There's another on Jocko. What is this from Slacks? He might have just single-handedly won them the round at this point. Devil last man, stepping to rattle off, position gathered. That is unbelievable from Slacks there.
I just want to know, who did he kill? Because there were so many players there.
He killed Lucky Bottom Banana. Look, there, right there.
Oh
I don't know how, but...
Oh, that's so sick for Slacks. And of course, there's also another player in front of him. Barely spots him out, but that's enough to eliminate Jocko. And yeah, what a very nice round here from aTTaX. I mean, coincidence? Sure. Some luck involved? 100%. But combined with all of that, that's a victory for aTTaX. Here, however, no early engagement here for the Germans. And then, again, even in that previous round where they have barely nothing to work with, the first kill goes their way, and here it's not the case. Jocko has overwhelmed Cressy and Sprunk. We're now expecting a lot more players, but it's Jocko to get a second one, and very quickly, this A bomb site is falling apart.
Yeah, it's still a little bit messy here from the side of ATN. They lose another man, and again, just call for a further save. It seems like all they're doing right now here is going for the save, as ATN will have to go for a little bit more of a re-pull. Do have to be very, very aware of what is to come right now, as Heretics, again, keeping the scoreline in their favor, 7-5, denying Heretics from tying the roundup itself, and denying ATN from tying the roundup. The save, it's pretty standard. Slacks carrying that AWP over, does have another reinvestment, should come through, but Heretics getting a very good opportunity on this side to scarily start to run away with the game so far.
7 rounds already here for Heretics. And the one good thing for aTTaX, remember the previous round they won? I mean, it was basically just 2 players with some saved weapons, And the other guys, they just didn't even buy up anything apart from a few upgraded pistols. So even though they lose the previous round, they have more than enough to reinvest here. So that's the one saving grace here for aTTaX. But I didn't say that's enough. Slacks tries to go for another aggressive maneuver. He's tried to go for these in the past, but this time it's another success. I mean, I just love to see the data on how many opening kills aTTaX has acquired in this first half alone.
This is so good right now, Devil. At least able to return at least a refrag, get a little bit more success on their side and slow things down right now. Play more into this default. Smokes over the top, flashes to come through. Defense is aligned for aTTN. Cressy having just a little bit of a gap to play with, but it's ultimately a 180, a turnaround from the side of Heretics, tagged by Slacks, but that's all he'll get. It's Devil that pins him down, it's Murbit now that's stranded, and it's Heretics that are absolutely gunning for the round itself. They've got a rotate to be made, but it's Devil that comes in from behind. This is another save for aTTN, and they can't keep doing this. They can't keep going for those saves. It's absolutely just stripping down the rounds for Heretics, making them so incredibly easy. That's round number 8, potentially a 9th to come. They are starting to gain some very good traction here on T-side Inferno.
And it also feels like the players on the A-bomb side in particular just seem to get caught off guard from time to time. And I mean, one of the rounds I remember, Jocko was just running up. He was trying to go through Arch, gets a kill there, then somehow from his position gets a kill on the guy on Pit. That was just that one player getting free kills. And now in this round, we have that one player in the form of Devil that just runs around gunning down players on the A-bomb side, and the B defenders are just confused on days on what to do next. So Heretics, this is one very interesting scenario. On a map like this, dude, that's where you expect some of your individuals to shine and get yourself some of those opening kills. It feels like Inferno is just working out a lot better for these individuals. First, there was Jocko with his amazing initial frags. Now we have Devil stepping up as well. This is what you want to see. The Heretics players finally in position to get kills.
Absolutely. It's finally turning in their favor. Finally, a little bit more to be gathered here on Inferno. It's going to be a very close second half, we feel, with the way that it's tipping up already. Heretics could be on track to getting themselves at least round number 9, maybe a 10th here to come. That's a lot of early damage, though. Devil and Nonik going to be shut down toward lower health already at the start of the round. And, well, things could start to become a little bit more difficult right now. Boost over the top. It's lucky. Oh, my gosh. He gets the player underneath. Stefan gonna be dead already. That's not the way you want to begin. As Skrunk tries to back away, will be able to reclaim his life and still keep himself alive, but not the way you want to begin if you're aTTN. That's another early man dead. It's another opener for Heretics.
Oh, Slacks responds. However, the one good thing is that there was some early damage inflicted on the Heretics players, but we'll see how effective that is. Cressy getting as close as possible. Uh-oh, loses the fight to Devil. Murbit now the only player in the bomb side once more. There's a player in Arch, though. Oh, that's something they're not aware of at all. Skrunk actually is still not aware of the positioning of Devil, but now with the smoke grenades coming in his position, Heretics will once more take over the A-bomb side. But here, we have somewhat of a chance, especially with Skrunk getting the kill on Devil. I think for this time, the read is on.
Finally about to attempt a retake, it seems here. No util, 1 diffuse kit, Slacks, no armor. This is going to be a very difficult retake, to say the least. Both players doubled up inside of lower pit. They've done exactly what Existence did to win that game yesterday, making sure they keep them safe inside this position as Python takes out the first. Slacks to go for the save again. Round number 9, and most likely 10 on the cards for Heretics. Money gone for aTTN, and this is a drastic turnaround, a much better performance from the French side here.
9-5 it is. Heretics, this has been a really good turnaround for them, considering how difficult it was for them to pick up rounds on the first map of Dust 2 on the T side as well. They're really struggling in that regard, and I mean, yeah, no wonder aTTaX managed to secure the victory 16-8. But here, Inferno, it seems to be a whole different roster. aTTaX, I mean, for them, the best case scenario is securing those 6 rounds. That's definitely something they're looking forward to, and it's also quite a shame on how many scenarios there were that looked very good for aTTaX. They had a lot of rounds in which they were the ones that secured the opening kills, but it was Heretics at the very end still managed to win out the important part. So Slacks, I'll see what he can do here with AWP. There's a flashbang, and there's, of course, players trying to get him down, but he is now very much aware of the apartment's presence of Heretics, so he'll just back away from this one and play it safe.
Yeah, a little bit of a scrappier opener to the round here. Slacks with just a slight angle to play with. Doesn't really get a lot in his sights to really see there, but still going to be able to at least start to turn the tide toward that B bomb site. Heretics showing face, just trying to get a little bit of presence and see what they can come up with here. But with 50 seconds on the clock, as they do start to now try and force their way up toward what seems to be an A-sided fake, or at least allow Devil to wrap through CT. Majority of the defenses posted top banana for ATN. That's where they're going to try and hold. But time is really ticking. Heretics have got to make a move relatively soon, as Joko already spots out the first Molotov burning Scrunk, second kill in, and it's clinical from Heretics. Some great early openers, 2 good replies at least, but it's Devil that trades Murbit the same, back to a 2v2, and there is no time left. They've just got to go for kills.
Oh, this is a little bit awkward here. Joko is going to run in, get the kill here in Murbit, but yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no time here for Heretics, and they decide to play this one relatively slow, a bit too slow, and they lose the round because of it. That has been one of the bigger strengths here for Heretics, just playing some of these rounds incredibly quickly here on Inferno's T side. We just saw some rounds where someone like Joko would just have the AK-47, run up the A bomb site, suddenly he gets free kills. That's a victory for Heretics. One of the rounds, it was Devil as well that did the exact same thing. And so it is a 9-6 scoreline. Of course, very much in the favor of Heretics, but considering it's not a 10-5, with this being a 9-6, if aTTaX ends up winning just the one pistol round here, that could be more than enough to equalize the scoreline.
Oh, it absolutely could be right now. This is a really good chance of ATN to try to get back to some kind of winning ways, to try and close out this scoreline. They do spot the first player out, at least inside of windows, see what they can muster up here and see what they can find, but nothing of the sorts so far. Just going to be keeping themselves nice and safe on the CT side, backing away, not going to be overcommitting to any sort of early positions here, so just going to run it back, keep themselves alive. Whereas for ATN, I mean, still all their players in and around that second mid position. Not a lot to really take off with right now. So they're just going to let the clock tick, decide later in the round and see if they can get a victory through the time. It's Joko, though, opens up with 1, make it 2. Rapid couple of kills, and now it has to be an A-side push here for ATN.
Oh, and there's still 2 players here. Even worse, the rotation, they're coming in as well. Hold on just a sec, though. 3 kills out of the blue here for aTTaX. Suddenly, there's a good chance to maybe get that bomb planted. However, that is a nice nade.
Oh.
Yes, there we go. The bomb does go down, but Murbit, he's not aware of Joko's positioning, and so Heretics eventually win out the round. But I've got to say, aTTaX, they put up one hell of a fight in that round.
Oh, they really did. That was beautiful from ATN to get a few kills, but this time it's the round again that doesn't stick with them this time. They get a plant. They might go for the force buy and get those AKs up. They absolutely do. Gonna go for that big investment already. See what they can find here in this one. But Heretic, they take away this round. They're on a very nice path to 12. A chance to uprise here on Inferno to shut down ATN and at least guarantee that we do see the 3rd map of this series, because right now that's exactly where this game is going.
Oh, the SMGs not having it easy. Here, Stefan gets the better of Devil. And that's one of the things I remember. Some of the older Devil rosters did what they would do back in the older meta when the UMP became a much more viable weapon. That used to be the SMG of choice for them to pick up in the 2nd round, T side or CT side, especially CT side. So Heretics, well, back to the MP9. It's a bit of a more effective weapon in the close-range encounters, has that rate of fire, but it doesn't necessarily have the same level of armor penetration, though it seems to be just the weapon of choice here for the CT investment. As for Slacks, though, and for some of the remaining players here of aTTaX, they can hope to try and win out some of the longer range engagements with the AK-47, but because Inferno is a close quarters map, MP9s are still very viable. As for aTTaX, they've completely abandoned banana control, 50 seconds on the clock. They might focus their efforts towards the A-bomb side, but the problem is, though, 40 seconds, and they haven't really done much in this round.
Yeah, there's not a lot to be really grabbed here from aTN. Nonic able to shut down Scrunk. That makes at least damage much more appreciative here. The flank to come in as well. First kill, second by Jocko as well. And for aTN, they're running out of options. Cressy will take down Lucky, though. That might just work out, as the bomb does need to be planted. Python ready, but Cressy prepared. 26 health combined, though. The round looking absolutely winnable here. A 1v2 presented, and absolutely Jocko gets it. Beautiful play. HP low. Easy to pick up those kills. Round number 11 confirmed. But aTN, they get 4 kills, another bomb plant, and the money bonus. There should be another buy round here. They're looking to still keep the money low for Heretics. They can go for another rebuy here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're going to go for another investment in this round, and this time they're not going to be in a position to have more AK-47s by the looks of things. It might just be just the two in the hands of Cressy and Stefan. The other players are back on pistols, but at least in this round, they have a bit more utility to work with. So they could try to go for a faster style play on Banana. Not going to spot out anything just yet here, Lucky, but at least some Banana presence might be a part of the agenda for Heretics. Slack's trying to get himself a nice little one-tap, but won't really find anything just yet. As for aTTaX, yeah, Banana presence, it's up there. It's up for grabs. There's only one player on the B bomb side. That's a lot of confidence to have that one player in the B side in the form of Nonic. And, well, looks like he's going to be tested. A lot more players will try to gun him down. With the smoke straight in, Nonic needs to get the frag. So far, it's only the one. And I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Right now, it's the bomb site that has been sacrificed. Beautiful nade onto Murbit, but again, it's damage that needs to be picked up by Heretics. They've got to go for this retake. And luckily, the rifles have been at least tagged the Deagle players lower than that as well. They've got a little bit of util on that T side compared to so much more by the Heretics squad. So they'll start to throw down those mollies, get those nades chucked in, force out these angles. Stefan still gets away with 1 kill somehow. Cressy down to a 1v2. A lot for him to do right now. The bomb plant already opened for him. No time. Single tap. Headshot by aTN. Beautiful round. 7 confirmed. And they've done what they wanted to. They've broken the Heretics economy.
Yeah, that's a very correct word to use as well. It's broken. It's shattered. They're going to have to go for potentially a double eco. And with this being a map like Inferno, no, you're not going to be going for the full-on double eco. You're going to be going for the force buy here. And if you fail, worst case scenario, next round's going to be a simple eco. But this is also one of the rounds in which you can cause a lot of havoc here for a team like aTTaX. I mean, it's pistols, sure, but most importantly, it's also utility, the smoke grenades in particular, that can cause a lot of havoc if a team decides to play a very slow setup. And the way aTTaX are playing this one, it's turning out to be like a very slow setup. I mean, they're very far back, expecting for some aggression from the Heretics, but they're not really seeing anything just yet. Though, I think the players in the apartments might get a little bit angsty.
Yeah, it feels like it. aTN right now, they're going to start to work toward that B bomb site, but you can almost feel in the back of Heretics' mind, they've worked out that it can't be anything toward the apartments. They realize just how clear this angle is. They will hear Cressy sneak up very close, though. Oh, Python, a chance to get the kill, but no, it's damage done. Drop down to 17, and Cressy now very, very scared of what could be on the other side of that peak, so they will start to move toward that B bomb site instead. Smokes over, flashes to enable the push. The close peek by Devil as the spray will come through. That's the first kill onto Slacks. And he gets out with his life. Now, this is where it gets difficult. Lucky can go for the pick over the top, can see what they can find here, but only, well, vision is all he'll get. No kills, no nothing. Seeming like 8 might be on the way with 9 soon to follow. This is much better from ATN.
Yeah, that was a lot better here from ATN, but it's always very dangerous when even you get to witness those advancements on the B-bombs that you have the players that have the high ground. They are in the smoke nades, they're in the back lines, and maybe they can pick up a frag or two, but not a victory, at least in this case. It's going to be the 8th round here for aTTaX, and of course now, luckily for them, they get the difficult task out of the way first, and now all they have to go up against will be some USPs, preferably USPs. There might be a few P250s, I would presume, but apart from that, aTTaX will have the opportunity to make the scoreline 9-11.
Not too bad here. Not too bad at all. As life is starting to become a little bit more dangerous here for the side of Heretics. They're starting to allow the ATN side right back into the game here, so this is where things ultimately will become a lot more difficult here, but we shall see. There is an option right now to start to come right back into this game right now for the ATN side. 2 rounds behind, especially on a map like Inferno, is really nothing to be worried about. There is, again, so much on offer for this side right now, but we'll see what they can bring. Should be round number 9 almost confirmed. ATN again playing a little bit more of a slower default, playing toward the round itself, just to finish with hopefully 5 players kept alive. You don't want to be dropping too many players here out of this one. Triple stack boost. 4 players in total. And Slack's about to work it out. He'll spot so many players, and that'll send the rest of ATN toward that A bomb site. Nice nade over the top. Stefan able to tap away on 2. Will give up his life eventually, though, as Heretics will get a couple of rifles under their belt. Murbit prepared for the counter-attack, though, and realizes all the players are there, so they will shut them down eventually. A little bit more messy, but it's still a round win nevertheless.
Yes, a round win, and they end up losing a player with a Galil as well as a player with a MAC-10, so it's not the biggest of losses. So this is going to be just a 2-round difference between both squads, but right now, of course, AWP here in the hands of Slacks, and for Heretics, it's actually going to be another round of an eco. Interestingly enough, I might have actually thought they might consider going for the reinvestment here, but no, Heretics back on pistols. This time, though, HE grenades to cause a lot of damage. Well, it's not going to be a lot, but some damage for sure. And Heretics have gone in for the straight-up mid-push, a classic way to play these type of rounds on the pistols as well. But as you'll notice, Heretics, I mean, they're dishing out some damage. They got a kill here in Cressy. Murbit's been softened up as well as Stefan, but they have considered to back away. They're going to look for some other openings, and, well, let's see what Joko can find on his adventure in second mid.
He might be able to wrap around at least onto Murbit here. There is a chance that he could get that kill. It's all going to depend on timing, though. He might just be too close for comfort here, as these players are going to get very close to each other right now and not going to expect the angle. Murbit rides out with the frag. And they've actually sold the information pretty well. Lucky and Nonic thinking that this will be a B bomb site take. Absolutely not. It's a round towards A for them, as that will be round number 10 confirmed. ATN, they're tracking right back. 1 round separating these 2 sides now, and this T side gunning for blood and gunning to just close down this series. They win Inferno, they win the best of 3.
Yeah, that's the one thing we have at stakes here. That it seemed like aTTaX, remember, not that long ago, they managed to win the first map of Dust 2. So now for them, if they win Inferno, that's going to be the end here in the best of 3. And that's something Heretics will make sure they can try to avoid to secure the victory in Inferno and then put us on a 3rd map of Mirage. As of now, yeah, some of the past few rounds, they've been just, Heretics on pistols, trying to save up as much money as possible. But now they'll have the money. In fact, they'll have loads of it. So I wonder if they might even consider for something like a double op setup. Now, a double op setup on Inferno may not be the brightest of choices, but you'll notice that Heretics have been primarily relying on some of their individuals to come through at the sort of later stages of that first half of Inferno. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we might see the double op setup coming into play. We already get to see Lucky with the investment, and okay, fair enough. The other players will just be on rifles. We have the AUG coming in the hands of Joko, and of course, loads of utility because they've been saving out that money. So in terms of investments, this is as good as it gets for Heretics.
Oh, absolutely. This is a definite way to begin here in this round. AWP out is going to be the chance that they need to start to reclaim a little bit more from this. Nice little nade onto Nonic already. Skrunk will take 2 in return, though. He'll be down to relatively low health to start things off, and luckily we'll get out alive, but only just here. So for now, again, we'll see Heretics just playing into those defaults. It's a very important round for ATN, really. They take away this one. They don't just tie the score, but they also get away with the round to break the economy once again. Triple stack toward the B bomb site, putting a lot of pressure down on this side of the map. Devil not really going to spot out too much, so he'll go for a rotate, but it might just be the wrong call. The rest of ATN, oh, they're preparing for a B-side take here. Lucky will drop a smoke, but go for the rotate. It's the rest of ATN that now start to hit that B-bomb site.
Ooh, this is a bit of a misread here from Heretics. Seem to have the notion that, yeah, this is going to be the A-side hit, but as you'll notice, the smoke grenades, the flashbangs, it's all raining in the B-bomb site, leaving lonesome Nonic at the back of site. Now, Heretics will come in with the rotation. In fact, they'll even have free plays coming in from Banana. This could be dangerous because Merpin, he's holding the angle, only gets the one, however, and Nonic is somehow still alive. Will go down eventually, so Slacks needs to hold the line. There's players moving in. He gets the one on Joko. Now, if he wins this one, which he does, the round has come to an end. Lucky will have to back away from this engagement because aTTaX have full control over the bomb site.
Beautiful so far here. So far, so good. Life looking beautiful on the side of ATN. That is round number 11. This is where things start to get very, very good for them. And still, with the way that it's going right now, with the way that it is starting to really flop for them here for the side of Heretics, they've got to start to turn this round. Slacked even takes out Lucky, denies the onslaught there, and, well, that is absolutely fantastic. So far, so good. As easy as that, and, well, with the money gone again, it's going to have to be a little bit more of a decided eco here from Heretics. A chance right now for ATN to take the lead on Inferno, to push closer toward victory. And scarily, Heretics, they're letting them slip, unfortunately. They're getting very close to being absolutely manipulated by ATN.
The one dissatisfying thing that I remember on Dust 2 is that when things got tough for Heretic, that was maybe I like to say maybe what might have been something like a 14-5-ish scoreline. And that was the one time they decided to take the timeout, just as they were losing in such a significant manner. Now, they've been losing the past few rounds as well here in Inferno, but no timeouts have been taken. Now, maybe after this round is over, they're going to consider to take the timeout because it's going to be a pretty important gun round. So far, the lack of timeouts is a little bit stressing. And, well, for us, the people watching this game, and it must be for Heretics as well, that they haven't really figured out a way to battle against a team like aTTaX. And now, again, aTTaX, 55 seconds on the clock. They have banana control. They have control in brackets as well. So the world is their oyster. They can go wherever they want. Right now, Merbit might even consider moving up here. With the smoke grenades being deployed, he's going to have his teammate to back him up. But uh-oh, there is a massive smoke in front of them. And so they must have heard the rotation there of Joko. Now, Lucky, he might get caught out here as well. But the smoke grenade, yeah, still blocking off that vision. And with 30 seconds, it's aTTaX that are getting incredibly close towards the site.
Oh, Joko, that's a beautiful position. Second kill, third to come in as well from Lucky. That's fantastic. As the flank will be set, the bomb can be planted. Slacks needs to defend and unfortunately can't even do that. He's got 3 kills with no Kevlar. The bomb at least goes down, but what else can they do? Not a lot, unfortunately. Heretics, they'll take an eco round. Half their players didn't even have Kevlar, but it doesn't even seem to matter. Victory to make it 12. Heretics this time not allowing aTTaX to come through with a victory.
Oh, but it's so dissatisfying for aTTaX. Oh, what happened there in Arch? That's the one thing that you got to look back at. What happened there at Arch? Joko, of course, on the other side with a Deagle. It's a very capable weapon in these close quarters engagements, and he secures those 2 frags. And from there on out, aTTaX have a pretty difficult time even getting on the bomb site against a player with just the measly USP. And so Heretics, and Joko in particular, manages to secure 4 kills in the round, and it is the Frenchman to secure the win. The important thing is as well, that has to be momentum boosting, but look at this. I mean, they're very much aware that Lucky is on the other side, so they're not going to engage him just yet. But with Heretics now securing 12 on an eco round as well, I mean, no wonder they're going to go for some aggressive plays.
It's a real option here right now, and beautiful nades onto Skrunk. Leaves him down on 3 points of health. Might choose to go for the swing. Skrunk still gets away with the frag, though. That is perfect. To say that he's gotten low HP and provides a kill for his side, that's the way to do it. Damage already to be inflicted. They might even send him in first, and absolutely they will. Stefan gets away with the frag onto Nonik. So a 3v3 to plate. Considering the rotate, though, here for aTTaX, they're going to book it right back toward the A bomb site. But Joko, he is absolutely prepared. He knows what's going on. He'll position accordingly. Now they realize exactly what is up. Gotta defend this corner, though. They need the peak, and they'll absolutely get it. Back to a 2v2, but Slacks picks out Lucky, and that might just be the frag they needed.
Oh, this is massive right now for aTTaX. They've taken over the bomb site in Python. Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to contest that ace side anytime soon. Instead, he'll poise himself up in a very nice angle here in Benata and just wait this out for aTTaX. That's going to be the 12th round for them. And Heretics, I mean, they're trying to go for somewhat of a more aggressive play in middle. Big fan of that, trying to change things up. But as you'll notice, it did not really go their way. 12-12 it is. Back to an even scoreline. As for a team like Heretics, this has to be somewhat frustrating. I think throughout the entirety of this second half, they haven't really done a good job at winning gun rounds. Sure, I remember the days when they won that first pistol round, but from there on out, it has been that one eco victory they got on the back of pistols, and I think one gun round? That's really not great.
Yeah, they haven't had a lot here on the side of Heretics, unfortunately, which is again a bit of a letdown. Double up. Going to be purchased, though, this time. Going to be Joko and Lucky taking up those snipers. A costly investment for either side, though. aTTaX still having money in the bank, whereas for Heretics, I mean, this expends their entire purchase. So losing this one really isn't an option for the French side. Cannot afford to drop out here. Python taking the first challenge. He'll be the first man dead. It's that smoke that blocks the vision. The flashbang that keeps him blind as Murbit takes another. That's already a save for Heretics as they do not want to sacrifice any further weaponry. It's going to be 13 for aTTaX. They're back in the lead now here on Inferno.
Oh, looks like Heretics getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Look how quickly aTTaX moved up there on the A-bomb side. I mean, luckily for them, Python wasn't much of a challenge. If anything, he was a bit of a pushover. He got flashbanged way too quickly. He got stuck in a very awkward position. He was thinking, should I fight or should I go back? As he considers to go back, that's when he gets caught out. And of course, Joko with the AWP in the apartments. Yeah, he's going to be an easy target there for aTTaX as well. And you'll notice that aTTaX will make sure that the players of Heretics don't try to save their weapons. If anything, you're going to try to get a few rifles out of this one, but by the looks of things, it's just going to be a costly round for aTTaX. At least Heretics get to keep the guns, because now with the guns being kept, they can reinvest straight back into this.
Last buy round really, though, for the side of Heretics. Things looking scary now as they've even got MP9s on the field. Devil buying down to just about afford that utility, and they've got a little bit in reserve. You've got Nonik, Lucky, Devil, all with a bit of economy on their back. Nice set of nades, but does no damage whatsoever. A faster push this time. There's already some tags to come in. It's Stefan that finds one, Skrunk with a second. And is this where the capitulation starts? Is this where Heretics have ran out of tank fuel? Is this where they start to fold in on themselves now?
This is not looking good for them whatsoever. They try to go for the aggression, but they're being destroyed. This is looking amazing for aTTaX. Very early on, they secured the first few kills, and from there on out, the B bomb set has fallen as well. 14 is looking inevitable. But for the remaining two players, Lucky and Python, their best bet would be to try and save the weapons, and I wouldn't be too surprised if aTTaX would try to go for the hunt once more, especially here this time if they get both weapons out of their hands. That's going to have to be a very quasi investment. So yeah, aTTaX, you can see that whole 5 players, they've cleared out CT spawn, they cleared out middle. There's only one more place the players can be at, and that is the A site. So Skrunk and Co. moving into the bomb site. There we go. The guy in pit has been eliminated, and so has been Lucky. 14-12, and aTTaX are looking stellar.
Yeah, that's really good right now on the side of Heretics. I'm sorry, of ATN here. And look at the money right now. Tactical timeout called for the side of ATN. Oh, sorry, for the side of Heretics. It's ATN that are sitting absolutely comfortably right now. But even so, 14-12. You've got Lucky, who's already bought up. You've got Jocko that follows suit. You've got Devil that's able to buy. No Nick the same as well. They can get a purchase out of this. It's just the fact that Heretics right now, they're just not as sustainable. ATN have found that sweet spot. They've found that little bit of momentum, and they're absolutely running it to the ground here. And with the way that it's going right now, they need a vital victory. With so much money in the bank on the side of ATN, Heretics essentially have to clean these last 4 rounds if they wish to get out of Inferno alive and playing for that 3rd map.
Yeah, you're right about it as well. aTTaX have racked up so much money that they're not going to have any economical issues by the looks of things. So Heretics, they need to start winning a lot of these rounds in a row, 4 to be exact. But they want to secure the win outright. Ooh, there's an opportunity to get themselves a kill. There we go. Lucky's going to get the better of Crisis. That is a good start here for Heretics. That's something they needed. And with Skrunk also being just on 39 points of health, this is one of the better starts we've seen in a while. And oh, is that? Oh, yeah, there is an advanced maneuver coming in. Aggressive push there from Joko with the FAMAS. He's going to be waiting for some of the players to move up middle. And of course, why would you look at your backside? That's not what you're expecting. The backstab. Joko, good pickup here on Skrunk. Murbit, he's going to try to get that player, but Joko, looks like he's losing some of his HP here from Stefan, but Murbit will eventually secure Joko, but the damage has been done. There's only 3 players of aTTaX remaining.
It's not a bad trade. It's not great either. There's 2 snipers still on this side for the Heretic squad. And with 40 seconds on the clock, it seems like they're going to try and at least fake out a little bit more of a B-sided maneuver. Bomb is inside of middle. Player toward the apartments. It looks like an A-sided take. They're trying to feed a little bit of information toward Heretics, though. Try and force out the A-bomb site, rotate, but it's not going to happen. Making their way around toward this A side. Now they're going to start the rotate. They've got players absolutely ready for this. Molotovs and flashbangs over the top. They need to go for the plant, and luckily, they just about get it. It's a 4 versus 3. It's still doable, but Lucky is alive on the back of the site. Murbit takes 1, but it's still very much doable here from ATN. As they pincer 1 down, Lucky trying to go for the kill. Murbit still somehow alive in this corner. Damage being dealt, and I don't think they'll survive. They need some vital frags, but no. How are they not dead yet? It's all onto Murbit. A 1v2, and finally he gets closed down. They don't have a kit, but they do have time.
Oh, that was a very dangerous set of circumstances there for Heretics, but eventually, you're right, they managed to close it out with a victory. I mean, once I saw the 2 players from aTTaX being in the pit and knowing how What a powerful position that is. I thought they might even have it in the bag, but yes, Heretics eventually have what it takes to secure the victory here, and a very important one at that. Though the problem is, even though they come out on top with the win, you'll notice that their economy is not in the best state, so the reinvestment here is lackluster. It's a few MP9s, it's a FAMAS, and at least there's still the AWP in the hands of Lucky, but considering they were the victors of the previous one, it's a somewhat of a bitter victory.
Oh, there we go, Lucky. Able to find the early one onto Cressy, push down middle. Oh dear, what is this right now? It's 2 kills and maybe a third. Merbit takes a bit of a tag, but Python's position revealed. Life looking risky. Slack's able to make it out onto the back of the A bomb site though, and he'll pincer down onto Lucky. Spots out Python, what? How does he hit that? A bomb site now up for grabs, a 3v2, and I thought damn well near that Heretics had that round closed. It's now on its head to fight.
Oh, but Devil with the MP9 though, look how low some of the players are. Maybe there's a chance for Devil to move up the apartments and maybe get the kill, but the problem is now, bombs planted. They'll expect someone from the apartments, and Merbit is keeping a close eye on things. In fact, he still has the Molotovs and the utility still in the hands of aTTaX. But now, there's the kill. Devil's gonna get it. There's a few more Molotovs deployed now. Slacks is aware. An incoming push from the apartments, but he misses the shot. Nonic losing a lot of HP, but he wins the fight. So it's all up to Stefan right now being left. And the 1 versus 2. There's one player he eliminates. Now it's all up to Nonic and Stefan playing the waiting game, but Nonic will move in.
I don't think there's time here.
Is there time? Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's going to be close. I don't think there is. There isn't. ATN from out of just a few milliseconds. Bag round number 15. And really start to put it on its head. Heretics, they've got very little left in the bank. This might just be breaking point now.
Oh boy, this is incredibly dissatisfying right now. 15-13, Heretics, barely any money left for them, so they have to go for this investment, of course. But look at this, it's SMGs. Oh, okay, there's the one for Maz, but it's SMGs primarily the roster. Oh boy, oh boy. Going to be somewhat difficult for them. Jocko, though, oh, actually, the 2-man MP9 setup is good enough to eliminate Scrunk, but as we'll notice that a player like Slacks not going to have it easy here in middle, and so far, I mean, the opening kill, it does go the way of Heretics, so they have that 1-man advantage. We'll see what aTTaX can pull out of the bag, because we've seen them in these difficult situations in the past, and they somehow managed to pull through. Is this going to be one of them, or maybe Heretics will have what it takes to secure 14?
Beautiful here so far from Heretics. They've at least got a little bit of damage in. Still. With a trade of potentially Devil and Joko relatively low. They've got a good chance here of moving out toward this A bomb site with a little bit of safety. Seeming somewhat reliant on players like Slacks at the moment, though, who's moving up through long. It's a risky maneuver here from the side of ATN, but still, MP9 spray leaves him on 1 point of health. There's so much damage inflicted across the board right now. It's pretty much even with the way that it's set up right now, and Slacks, he'll take Devil. That might just be the key to turn this game on its head. With 20 seconds left, but no, the bomb, I thought it might have been rotating. It is rotating. Oh my lord, that might just be it. A 2v2 now to play. The bomb has to go down. I don't think there's time for this. There might just be, but it's going to be hella close right here. But, oh, I don't think there is. They've got to take the kill. They've got to go for the fight. The bomb doesn't go down, and Heretics, they somehow get the win. What a messy round from ATN there.
Oh, that definitely is a messy round, but that's also a Heretics. I mean, unbelievable positioning here from Jocko. He saves the day here for Heretics. The fact is that, yes, we do have a player like Cressy trying to go for the engagement, but he's thinking, okay, maybe I have what it takes to just run over towards Banana. But I like the play also coming in from the last player there. aTTaX, on the bomb side, tries to go there for the kills. Gets the one, however, but of course, not the last. And it is 15-14. Heretics have taken the timeout. They know how important this round is. I mean, worst case scenario for aTTaX, we're heading into overtime, but for Heretics, they still have a chance to win this one. So now it's not just the MP9s, the SMGs. We still have the 4 here in the hands of Python. Lucky with the AWP. So at least they have some extra firepower heading into this one, Heretics. And let's see how they're going to try and use it for aTTaX. It's been quite a while since we've seen any sort of banana presence, and looks like, yep, that's where the early engagements might take place. Lucky with the op, stationed, waiting, and patient enough to get the first kill on Slacks.
Oh, that's beautiful here to begin. Nice early opener by the side of Heretics. This could be the turning point, the pinnacle position here on Inferno. It was just yesterday that ATN got exploited on this map, as they were down onto a little bit more of an easier run of rounds. It went into overtime against Existence, and they weren't able to get out successfully with a win. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what can be done right now, but, well, with the way that it's going so far, moving up toward the B bomb site, they've chosen the right path. They've chosen the right site to play. Flashbang good. Lucky needs to be the man to line up kills, though. And as he gets away with one, NoNick does get returned. The spam to come in. They try and take out Lucky, but can't do so yet. It's the 4v3. Positions need to be established here by ATN. The retake is absolutely on the cards for the side of Heretics.
They got a little bit awkward, but no worries. Heretics still in a position to try to win this one out. Of course, aTTaX, they have deployed their last smoke grenade. So now it's going to come down to the retake here from Heretics. They only have the one kit, but they're going to be looking for the engagements quickly now.
Oh,
what's going on? It's Murbit.
Oh,
it's
dear.
It's Murbit once more. Not a single kill has gone the way of Heretics, and it's alternate attacks to secure the victory here on Inferno.
My gosh, that comes close. But ATN, I mean, they didn't do it yesterday, but they absolutely do it today. A 2-0 closed out in the series, and a very good performance. Messy at the end of Inferno allowed Heretics to come back, but at the end of the day, it's the 2-0 on the board. It's the result that matters for ATN, and, well, unfortunately, Heretics just couldn't take it that one step further on Inferno.